Good afternoon and welcome to the daily video check-in for Temple Israel. Today is Thursday, April 23rd. You'll notice that I'm outside, I'm in my backyard, not just in recognition of Earth Day, which was yesterday, but also we're going to talk actually about the counting of the Omer. Now, according to the traditional Jewish calendar, as soon as Passover had begun, we started to count the Omer. And the Omer are those 7 weeks of 7 days, 49 days we count until on the 50th day we arrive at Shavuot, another of our three festivals. And the festivals have really three aspects to them. Passover, we know, is the festival of our freedom. We recall the story of the Exodus, of our people being freed from slavery. And Shavuot, in historical terms, talks about the gift of Torah. It commemorates that moment when Moses came down from Mount Sinai and brought the Ten Commandments, brought Torah to the people Israel. So that's the historical context. But there's also an agricultural context. And actually, the counting of the Omer highlights it a little bit. I'll talk about that in a moment. But the agricultural aspect to Shavuot is it marks the end of the grain harvest in Israel. And also then it begins with first fruits. So that is the agricultural context. And then there's a spiritual context as well. So while the historical aspect is about the giving of Torah, there's this religious connotation that we move from the freedom given to us at Passover, and we are free not just to do what we want, but to ready ourselves for this gift of Torah, which is known as Eitz Chaim, a tree of life. So we prepare during those 49, 50 days to receive Torah. And how do we prepare? Well, we count the Omer. Now, the Omer traditionally, again, has an agricultural component. The Omer literally was a sheaf of barley. So it was a daily sacrifice, brought a small amount of barley each day. And we would count those days. But we don't just merely count numbers. We are taking account. We are readying ourselves for that gift of Torah, preparing ourselves for Shavuot. And how do we do that? Well, we can mark each day by giving it a number. That's the simplest way. But more importantly, as we take the time to count each day, we really do take account. We make sure to be aware of the world around us, of the natural beauty and the natural bounty of our earth. During this time of coronavirus, it's awfully easy to let each day just bleed into each other and to not even know what day it is. So we make sure we take account of each of those days and give each day its full value. So that's something for us to do on the Omer during this particularly difficult and unusual time. Associated with those days of the Omer are also midot given to each week. So in this third week of the Omer, which we are beginning tonight, the third week is traditionally given to Tiferet, which we can translate as beauty or balance. So we might have thought about Chesed during the first week, loving kindness, and Gvura, power, during the second week, and this third week, Tiferet, beauty and balance. So we take account of the world around us, we take account of our days, and we attach something special to each of those days. So I'll invite you to do that as we prepare communally for the giving of Torah in just a few weeks. So I'm going to leave you with one of the traditional readings as we count the Omer, and it's not quite evening yet, so I won't say the blessing, but I will say, Hayom Chamishar Asa Yom Shehem Shnei Shavuot Vayom Echad LaOmer, which means today is the 15th day of the Omer. It's actually the 14th, but this evening, by the time you're watching this, perhaps it will be the 15th. We mark that day, and then traditionally there would be a psalm afterwards, and I think it highlights so many of these themes. So I'm just going to read for you this beautiful psalm. For the choir master, a song with instrumental music, a psalm. May God be gracious to us and bless us. May God's countenance shine upon us forever, that your way may be known on earth, your salvation among all nations. O God, all the nations will extol you, the nations will rejoice and sing for joy. You will judge the peoples justly and guide the nations on earth forever. All the peoples will extol you, for the earth will have yielded its produce, and God, our God, will bless us from the farthest corners of the earth. Have a good afternoon.